Okay, so an updated look at Star Citizen, specifically Alpha 2.6 at 21:9. I've been wanting to do an update for this game for a while, and with the release of the Star Marine module, I would say this was a brilliant time to do just that. This is a game I am so excited for the full release of, but one that clearly has a long way to go. Anyway, ultra-wide support-wise, things are pretty damn similar to my original covering of the game, but some touches have changed the look of some screens. So gameplay still shows off more on the sides of the screen correctly in first and third person, and you can still change your distance from the ship in third person with the scroll wheel. Unfortunately, I couldn't get FOV to change in first person, but that is one of the many little bugs in the game. The main menu has been swapped for a new menu, which is a million times better, especially for new players, as it's far more clear as to what your options are for what you can do in the game. However, the screen is now locked to 16:9 with black bars, and this holds true for all the Star Marine screens. The only real issue, though, is the inability to see the bottom of the screen in the loadout section, so you can't actually go backwards after changing your loadout. You literally have to Alt F4 the game to leave and come back. The only way to sort out a loadout is to change your resolution to a 16:9 one, and then change your loadout, and then change your resolution back. It's a bit awkward. It really doesn't matter though, because I couldn't for the life of me work out how to change my loadout whilst in a match anyway, so I was left running around with the same primary and secondary weapons and just picking up random weapons occasionally from the ground. But this is a perfect example of my knowledge of the game. Regardless of the fact that I've spent a lot of hours playing recently, I'm still constantly learning tons about what to do and how things work. Seriously, it's just mind-blowing how much there is to do in this. Finally, loading screens are 16:9 with black bars, and yes, you still will be looking at them for a long time. Now, the main issue really is the fact that the HUD zooms in a bit compared to 16:9, which cuts off the top and bottom at times. This is prevalent in Star Marine, which means you can't see the score progress of the teams at the top and you can't see who killed you at the bottom. It also causes the cursor image and cursor click position to be misaligned, like in your F1 mission screen when you're in the universe. Now, performance is actually a little better than before. I'm now recording at 3440 by 1440 as opposed to 2560 by 1080 like I did last time because I wanted a higher frame rate then, but yeah, I thought I'd show you what a 980 Ti can do at this higher resolution. And in hangars, it's great. In Star Marine, it's workable. It fluctuates between the 40s and 60s with occasional massive FPS drops, but nonetheless, I was able to play well. Really, the ping was the problem with everyone in massively high numbers. But the main star for FPS death is the universe. Even in your bunk in Port Elosar, your FPS is completely destroyed. I was in the 20s at all times here, but things do improve once you fly away. So as I said, the latest update has brought the really good fun Star Marine FPS module that is totally up my street. And it also makes it far more clear what the different sections of the game are now for those new to it. To be clear, the game comes in two parts, the single player component called Squadron 42 and the multiplayer side, which just seems to be referred to as the Perpetual Universe. And this is the module that has Star Marine in it. You don't need to buy both sides, and you can buy the other side at any time to get access to the other part. Think of the two as two halves of a whole. But yeah, that does mean it can be expensive to get into the game. Now, the game is still, so clearly in alpha. There has been lots of development since my last video on the game, with commerce being introduced, new ways of interacting with ships, people, flight, movements, cameras have all been retouched, and really just the list is gigantic. But that said, you will still have loads of glitching and random things like crashing, getting stuck in bunk beds, though for the most part I had a great time trying to work out how to play again. As the control scheme clearly shows, for those unaware of the complexity held within this, there is a lot of control for everything here. Don't expect a controller to really suffice for playing, which I will say I think is a bit of a shame, as this lends itself perfectly to a controller, so I hope they can design a controller to work well with the final product. The only issue is there is just so much to do. All in all, I totally recommend this game, but at the same time, give it a very big asterisk that you should only approach this game with a damned powerful PC at this point, and you should expect a lot of issues. Otherwise, hold off for a while. It'll come out fully at some point. I'm going to give this a WideAsFcuk score of 2. My reasoning is that I can't give it a higher score when there are screens like the Star Marine loadout that simply cause you to have to quit the game in order to leave. However, so much of the game works well at 21:9 that it's a difficult position, but I have no doubt that things will only improve as development continues. As always, I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21:9 right now. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21:9, head over to my channel. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, the link's to my Patreon page in the description. See you later.
Tested. Control point lost.
We lost the control point.
Control point contested. Control point contested.